Stacy the Black Feather Intuitive, and welcome to Divinely Decked Tarot and Oracle Reviews done Stacy style. And I'm very excited. This just arrived today. This is the Inspired Neon Tarot. And I found this book. Oh, let me just adjust my lighting here. I found this deck on eBay. And as you guys know, if you've been following me, you know I love decks with color. I find the vibrancy and the energy of the colors to be really important. And when I saw this deck, and it was only, I think I paid like $10 for it or something plus shipping, I thought, why not? This sounds great. And now that it's arrived today, I'm realizing it's a mini deck. Which I wasn't expecting. I thought it was a full-sized deck, but that's okay. It matters not. Let's just check it out and see what's going on. So it is in this little cigarette box, a tuck box, which is not always my favorite. I'm not seeing an author on here, which I'm discovering now that whenever there isn't an author, often it's one of these sort of fake or pirated tarot decks. But let's see if there's a card that gives me any more information. No, there is not. So I feel kind of bad when I buy one of these sort of pirated decks. I didn't realize that that's what it was, but let's just check it out and see what is coming up here. It's like I want to say actually a little flimsier than the US Games cardstock. So not the best quality in terms of cardstock. It is not reversible. If you read reversals, that's not a problem for me because I don't read reversals. But that's just kind of something important to know. I am loving the back of the deck, though. Loving the beautiful pinks here. We've got the yellow and the pink growing in here with a little bit of the purple, the indigo. Definitely that galaxy kind of energy that's coming up. And let's just see what the card deck is all about here. Okay, so it's the Ace of Wands. And I'm noticing here that we could actually use it as a playing card as well. And perhaps that's why it is that significantly smaller size. I am loving the colors in the Ace of Wands, so that's pretty cool. Here we have the Page of Wands. Loving the green in this energy being sort of juxtaposed with his enlightened flame coming off of his crown. Here we have the Seven of Cups. We have an outline of a gentleman here holding a really big goblet, and then there are these other wine goblets filled with all sorts of different things. And it's interesting. He's chosen the victory, and I like that. I feel that's really cool. And so maybe not playing cards here, but we're getting the Roman numeral. So I feel like that's what's going on here is we've got a Roman numeral. Here we have the Three of Pentacles, someone who's hard at work, working at night. I love that there are 3 stained glass windows behind him here. And we also have the 3 pentacles above him. I like that this, he's like studying, reading a book, like he's trying to learn something. He's trying to learn a new skill, and he's dedicated. Here's the Knight of Swords. Very cool. I would have actually looked at this and thought maybe Knight of Wands energy just because of all of the fire in the background, but I love that it is a setting sun, and the Knight of Swords is not afraid to go into a battle even if it's at night. Here we have the Eight of Wands. Oh, and very interesting. So the wands are not flamed up. They're not lit. They're actually full of growth, and they're heading in an upwards trajectory. So we're getting the impression here that they've been shot up. So they're on their way to their destination. Loving the background imagery here. Here we have the Four of Cups. Very, very beautiful. I love this light. Love this color. I love the tree here. Often we see a tree depicted in the Four of Cups card. That's a common depiction that we are getting. Here, I'll just flip these over so as to not distract us from the image. I apologize for that. Loving this tree, and I'm just loving that the tree is not your typical green. It's almost like his heart light or his soul light, because we're seeing the back of him, is lighting up the tree. So he's not as despondent as we think, and perhaps he has chosen. There's this other cup that's being offered here. Perhaps he is meditating and manifesting it to him. So I really like this imagery and how this is coming up and coming through. Queen of Cups, liking this imagery as well. She's looking into the cup, so she's not afraid to look into her feelings, her emotions, to evaluate what's coming up and coming through for her. Here we have the 10 of Pentacles. Oh, I love that there's two doggies, two labs, a Labrador and a Retriever, one on either side. Oh, reminds me of my baby Dimitri. So cute. That's very, very beautiful. Definitely hinting at the ancestral and legacy image here. Here we have the Tower card. This is cool because the lightning is two different colors, so it's having two different effects. It says to me energy. What energy are you putting to this tower? Perhaps you are the one that is creating the tower or bringing about the tower. I like that imagery. Here's the Lovers. This is a couple, and it looks like they're dancing the night away. It kind of has like a New Year's Eve feel to it here, so lots of celebration. Three of Swords. Oh, how interesting. So this Three of Swords is actually not being plunged into a heart. There's a sphere behind it, and we have each of the swords is a different color. Very interesting. And on the hilt of each of the swords is a face. It's not necessarily a skull, but there are faces on the swords. That's really interesting. Queen of Swords. So she's usually about boundaries. And this is kind of interesting because she's holding the sword, but she's not in like battle ready. Like she can go into battle if she needs to, but right now she's quite reflective. I like that about her. Nine of Wands. So again, the wands are not lit. They're not lit with fire. They're tree branches. They're I feel like this is a real nod to how fire and earth can work together. Fire can kind of tear things down, destroy things, burn things down, but then, like a forest fire happens, and then out of that burnt ash and soil comes new life. And that's what this feels like. So Nine of Wands, typically a card of control, exhaustion, resilience, all of those things, wounding. There's almost a level of empowerment here, a level of hope. Five of Cups. So this is typically a card of grief and loss. What this looks like is, he's standing, at the edge of a dock. It's a pretty small dock. And I feel like he's making a decision, like, does he dive in and swim to the other cups? Does he turn around and walk back? Like I feel like this is basically saying if he wants to move forward, if he wants to see what these other cups hold, he has to take that leap into the grief, into the feeling and the emotion in order to get past it. Ace of Cups. So I would say kind of a more traditional approach to that. Here we have the Page of Pentacles, and the Devil. Interesting that the light is coming from behind him, so it's silhouetting him. The Hierophant, very traditional. The two keys in front. Four of Swords. Yeah, this guy looks exhausted. Actually, he looks a bit like he's passed out because he was drunk. And he just passed out where he was. Sorry, it's probably not a funny thing to say, but it's humorous to me. King of Swords. He looks very determined, actually. He looks like a very determined, not a very friendly King of Swords. 10 of Wands. Interesting that we see this figure's back, and they're holding all the wands in front of them. So a lot of times their vision is not obscured. In the 10 of Wands, we see their face, we see the front, and they're carrying the burdens on their back. That one is blinding himself. The Hanged Man. Almost looks like he's dancing. That's interesting. King of Pentacles. He looks like he's in meditation. That's really interesting. I like that one. Not what I would have anticipated. 4 of Pentacles. He almost looks like he's in a laboratory creating a bunch of things. Less so about protection and more about foundation. 8 of Cups. Knight of Wands. I actually have another deck that's called the Neon Tarot, and it is the Rider-Waite-Smith done in neon, and I love it. I use it for my Day Drinking and Tarot series all the time. I absolutely love that deck. Right now I'm using it only for Day Drinking and Tarot, but when I'm shifting that series up, or whatever it's going to become, I can't wait to bring that deck into my sort of my day-to-day use collection. 2 of Wands. 6 of Swords. The Empress. She's interesting. She looks a little bit futuristic. She's got her eyes closed. That's kind of interesting. You don't normally see her depicted with her eyes closed. We're definitely seeing the Venus, the divine feminine here. She's got some scales, like the hint of a scale, like maybe she was a mermaid at some point. That's kind of interesting. Here's the Death card. So not a particularly scary death card. We do have the Skeleton Rider. He does have his scythe. And I think the fire underneath of it draws your attention to what is being destroyed on the foundation, so that something can be built back or built forward. Queen of Pentacles. She's beautiful. 8 of Swords. The Magician. Justice. She's fun. Kind of like a games figure, games character. The World. 5 of Pentacles. That's interesting. It's almost like the one in the light is counseling or helping or connecting with the one in the dark, almost implying that the one in the dark is the one that's being rescued and the one in the light is the one that's helping. A little bit of a Star Wars feel, Star Wars-esque. 9 of Cups. This is really interesting. So 9 of Cups, his wish is fulfilled. He's in the dark, but I do feel that there's a lot of the kind of like fairy dust. There's a lot of this light, orbs of light that are around him. Perhaps he's made the wish and now the wish is in the process of becoming. Queen of Wands. No kitty cat in this picture that I can see. So breaking with that tradition. 3 of Wands. Interesting. So 2 of the wands that are like branches, and the third one almost is like a whole tree. So he's getting ready to make a new choice, go in a different direction to expand. 7 of Swords, really cool. I like this one. High Priestess. She's the image on the front of the box. Ace of Cups, beautiful. Loving the peace dove on this one. Sorry, just trying to find the right angle to show you guys. 5 of Wands. Nine of Swords. The Fool. That's cute. I like the doggy. The doggy is like he's like a mutt, like a little rescue mutt. He's super cute. The Wheel of Fortune. I'm a sucker for the dogs. Judgment. That's a cool Judgment card. I like that her energy, the sound energy, is dropping into the sort of the nothingness, the void, creating something new. Six of Pentacles. 10 of Cups. Again, the family is highlighted, silhouetted. King of Wands. I almost said Knight of Wands. King of Wands. 4 of Wands. Ooh, this is cool. It's almost like a bit of a Beauty and the Beast feel. 2 of Swords. I like this. So her face and her head is not lit up. It's in shadow, but the rest of her is highlighted. And she's holding the 2 swords. Trying to keep her mind out of the choice. The Chariot. Love the green. And we're seeing the back. He's the back of him. The Star. Love this Star card. 9 of Pentacles. She definitely has a lot to be grateful for there. King of Cups. 3 of Cups. They're all looking in different directions. That's interesting. 7 of Wands. Page of Swords. This is cute. You can tell the person is younger. Ace of Swords. Strength. She's cool. The Moon. 2 doggies. 8 of Pentacles. Knight of Cups. 2 of Cups. Like that their faces are illuminated by the light in the cups. It's liquid light, liquid love. 6 of Wands. 10 of Swords. The Hermit. I forgot to mention, I got this on eBay. It's a used deck. It wasn't brand new. Obviously, we can see that because all the cards are out of order. The Sun. Oh, this is a cool Sun card. I like this. We've got a lot of galaxy energy, galaxy feel. So it's like we're on top of the sun, or sorry, we're on top of the earth, or maybe even on the moon, and we're looking at the sun. I think that's so cool. 7 of Pentacles, the reaping rewards of the harvest. Got a farmer working. It's interesting that he's working at night. I like that. Page of Cups. 6 of Cups. Oh, that's cute. So definitely a nod to the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith. 2 of Pentacles. Oh, it's almost like he's playing hopscotch or Twister. I don't even know if that's still a thing people do. Knight of Pentacles. Temperance. She's cool. She's very fiery. I love the angel-esque. I mean, Temperance is an angel, but I like her wings. The Emperor. She reminds me a little bit of a phoenix. That's probably why I like her. I'm a little predictable that way, I guess. The Emperor. Ooh, he looks like ghostly, like half ghost, like half ethereal and half manifested. That's really interesting. And a part of him is starting to burn away. Ooh, I would get a lot of messaging around that. And here we have the 5 of Swords, leaving those 3 swords behind, walking into maybe the dawn or the sunset, depending on how you interpret it. Very Halloween-y. with all of the trees that are leafless. So, winter. Wow. Okay. So that is our inspired neon tarot. And of course, in true Stacy style, we are going to pull a card from this deck to see how it wants to work with you. Oh, and there we go. We've got it. Judgment. So I love this deck so far, even though it doesn't have an author, which probably means that I don't know that it's pirated, but maybe it's like a little AI. But I'm loving the imagery of this. And so if we talk about the Judgment card in terms of this deck, I think this makes a lot of sense because I feel like it is going to help you with some decision making. It is similar enough to the RWS system that if you understand the system, you're going to be able to understand these cards and read these cards. I also love the coloring in this deck, and she does have some sort of phoenix energy, but the color that we're seeing from this angel primarily is the yellow and the orange. And I want to say that's our sacral chakra and our solar plexus chakra. The solar plexus chakra is all about our identity, mastery, co-creation, boundaries. It's where our ego resides. It's also where the soul resides. And then when you have the orange blended in there as well, that's our sacral chakra. That is our sexuality, sensuality, creative expression, and flow, and the ocean of our emotions. So this is definitely going to be giving you creative guidance, creative solutions, creative clarity that is going to help you to really work within the confines of who am I choosing to become? And I really love that. And also, I just love how the sound from the trumpet, like I said, is dropping down into the nothingness and creating something out of nothing. And I feel like, this deck is going to give you a little bit of that energy too of, everything is pure potential. So what would you like to do with that potential? What would you like to create? All right, guys, that is our episode of Divinely Decked. And as always, it was a pleasure to share in my love of tarot and oracle decks with you. I hope you have the most amazing week. And until I see you again for another episode of Divinely Decked, I want to say we'll see you on the flip side and transform well. That's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. It was great to connect with you guys. Please like, subscribe, and comment for more content like this. And feel free to follow me on Blue Sky for even more content every single day. Can't wait to see you guys next week for another installment of Black Feather Couture, Divining the VIP Life.